morning, Safe Harbor ladies. This morning is our 5th class in our series, The Christian Secret of a Happy Life. And this chapter in Hannah Whitall Smith's book is about doubting our consecration. So I thought we would do some poses that felt like the wavering of doubt. So we're going to bring our left hand off to the left. I'm sitting in Sukhasana. Drop the elbow, bring the head of the shoulder back, and then raise the right arm up overhead, keeping the chin lifted so both sides of the neck are long. Nice inhale, gaze is upward. And then we'll come back to center, grasp the left side of the head and let the weight of the arm and elbow pull and lengthen the neck. The fingertips on the left side are now up off the floor. And then find that little spot that needs lengthening. And breathe there. And release the head. Bring the right hand off to the right. Drop the elbow, shoulder back, and reach overhead, reaching that left sit bone down. Gaze is lifted. Getting that sense of what wavering feels like. All the way to the left and all the way to the right. And then come back to center. Grasp the right side of the head. The right arm reaches. And the weight of that right arm keeps the shoulder down. Find any tight muscles in the side of the neck and breathe into them. And release the head and center. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, right hand to left knee, fingertips behind you, and we'll twist. Chin is level. And that twist begins down at the base of the spine. So the right sit bone will feel a little forward of the left sit bone. And you don't even need the twist to go all the way up into the angle of the head. The angle of the head could be a little more forward or even over the opposite shoulder if there's a strain on the neck. And then inhale up. Left hand to right knee and twist in the other direction. And whenever we twist, an inhale lifts us tall. And then exhale deepens us into the twist. And back to center. And we're going to repeat that whole sequence. But we're going to crisscross the legs in the other direction. So now my left shin is in front of my right. So left hand down, pointing off to the side, and reach over. Couple of nice breaths here. As we recall, what does doubt and wavering feel like? Then grasp the left side of the head. Maybe find a new little spot that needs to lengthen. Yeah, right there. And release. Right hand off to the right. Left arm reaches over. I always have to remind myself to get my chin out of my chest. I kind of want to do this. You might be feeling the same inclination. Nice deep breath as the left sit bone reaches down. And then grasp the right side of the head and reach the right arm long. Find a new little spot to stretch out. Send breath to that spot. And inhale, circle up. Right hand to left knee and twist. Inhale tall, exhale deeper, and inhale sweep it up. And left hand to right knee. Do whatever you need to do for your neck, whatever angle. But keep the chin parallel to the floor. And So seated Dandasana for a moment. I'm going to grab hold of my thigh and then lift and rotate so that inner thigh rotates down. Remove any flesh and squish between the sit bones and the floor. This is seated Dandasana. Then I wanted to remind myself I'm going to begin the entire class on left side first. So I'm going to pull my left foot close to the sit bones, sit up tall, and then bring both hands and fingertips off to the right. So we're getting a little twist in this direction. Nice deep breath. Keeping that right leg rooted and reaching out through the heel. May feel quieting to keep the gaze down. And then wrap that right arm around the left knee and twist off to the left. Nice deep breath. Using those fingertips behind you to keep sitting tall. Nice long line between the crown of the head and the base of the spine. And unwind and extend the left leg and bend in the right. And then we're going to reach and turn off to the left side, up on the fingertips. Another breath, reaching out through that left heel, femurs rooting down. And then twist and wrap the elbow around that front knee. The higher up you sit, the more you'll probably feel this in your hip. You may wonder where our quote is. It's coming. And unwind. All right. So here's where we come to our quote. It's a little longer, so we'll be doing some nice long holds so that we can read our quote. So we'll come back to bending that left knee and bringing the sole of the foot in. Then hop it over the outside of the right leg. Keep grasping that leg so you can sit up tall and reach the right arm up. And we're going to hook that elbow around that knee, or bring the elbow to the outside of the knee if you're ready for a little deeper twist. And we'll just pause and breathe here. And this is what Hannah Whitall Smith says about doubting we are His. You feel springing up in your soul the longing to be conformed to the image of your Lord. In order for this, you know there must be an entire surrender of yourself to Him, that He may work in you all the good pleasure of His will. And you have tried over and over to do it, but hitherto without any apparent success. It is at this point that I desire to help you. What you must do now is come once more to Him in a surrender of your whole self to His will, as complete as you know how to make it. You must ask Him to reveal to you by His Spirit any hidden rebellion. And if He reveals nothing, then you must believe that there is nothing, and that the surrender is complete. This, then, must be considered to settle the matter. And unwind. And we are going to bring the legs over to the left-hand side. Everything's in right angles. So the thigh comes out at a right angle from the hip. The shin is at a right angle to the thigh, and the foot is at a right angle to the shin. So get that all, and then we'll come into a twist by coming up on the fingertips over here on the right side. And then we'll just settle in and let those hips open. You have abandoned yourself to the Lord, and from henceforth you do not in any sense belong to yourself. You must never even so much as listen to the suggestion to the contrary. If the temptation comes to wonder whether you really have completely surrendered yourself, meet it with an assertion that you have. Do not even argue the matter. Repel any such idea instantly and with decision. You meant it then, you mean it now. You have really done it. Your emotions may clamor against the surrender, but your will must hold firm. It is your purpose God looks at, not your feelings about that purpose. And your purpose or will is therefore the only thing you need to attend to. And unwind, extend out through the legs. We'll bend in the right knee, hop it over the left leg. Inhale the left hand up, get super tall, and then hook the elbow around that front knee and twist, or hook the elbow to the other side. And wherever the head needs to rest to not be straining and to allow you to slowly unwind in this twist. The surrender then, having been made, never to be questioned or recalled, the next point is to believe that God takes that which you have surrendered and to reckon that it is His. Not that it will be at some future time, but is now, and that He has begun to work in you, to will and to do of His good pleasure. And here you must rest. There is nothing more for you to do, for you are the Lord's now, absolutely and entirely in His hands, and He has undertaken the whole care and management and forming of you, and will according to His word. And we'll unwind and bring this, it's called Swastikasana. And that's okay because the swastika was first a symbol over in the east of life. So let's reclaim that meaning and bring the fingertips over onto the left side and really start to stretch out those hips in the other direction. Do you then now at this moment surrender yourself wholly to Him? You answer yes. Then, my dear friend, begin at once to reckon that you are His, and that He has taken you, and that He is working in you to will and to do of His good pleasure. And keep on reckoning this. You will find it a great help to put your reckoning into words, and to say over and over to yourself and to God, Lord, I am thine. I do yield myself to Thee entirely, and I believe that Thou dost take me. I leave myself with Thee. Work in me all the good pleasure of Thy will, and I will only lie still in Thy hands and trust Thee. Make this a daily, definite act of your will, and many times a day recur to it, as being your continual attitude before Him. And unwind. Ah, wasn't that lovely? And so common that we can have these doubts. We're going to come to a resting pose. I'm going to have my left leg on the bottom and my right leg on the top. This is just the legs half of Gomukhasana. If you find the knees aren't aligning, you can grab a hold of them, pull, and kind of nestle in. See if you can make your feet come into a straight line and then come to stillness. Maybe hands on the feet will feel nice and grounding. Close the eyes and come to Ujjayi Samavriti breathing. Inhaling through the nose. The same amount as we exhale through the nose. Sama means same, so equal length inhale and exhale. And just come to a moment of balance and stillness where you can rest in God's presence and ask Him, Lord, is there any wavering doubt in me? Am I doubting myself, whether I've truly, fully surrendered to you? Am I doubting you, whether you've truly, fully received me. And Lord, just search me and show me if I have any wavering doubt. And we'll recross the legs. So now left's on top, right's on bottom. Nestle in, flexing the feet and getting them in line with each other. And come back to that moment of stillness with the Lord. And just asking Him, Lord, help us to be solid in our relationship with you. To trust that we've truly given ourselves and we've truly been received. In Jesus' name, amen. We're going to have another moment to get still and settled, and if you like, you can use a block. We're going to come into downward facing dog. So come into table over your block, get your fingers spread wide, index fingers forward, and place the block so it lands kind of in the center of your chest or and belly. It can be at the highest height or medium. And then we'll tuck the toes and pull back into down dog and place that block right on the edge of the top of the forehead where the hairline and the forehead meet. And just pause a second and see as you sink into the support and steadiness of down dog, is the height of the block compressing the neck. So I'm noticing this block is a little too high for me. So I'm going to turn it to that medium height and then come down. So I'm not really releasing any weight into the block. I'm just using that little pressure of the block to help me center and get steady. And then let's really build a steady foundation and a strong support for ourselves by rooting into the base of the knuckles and the tips of the fingers, and then squeezing the lower arms isometrically towards each other, rotating the outer edges of the shoulder down, lifting the armpits, heart drops, sit bones reach up, knees might need to be slightly bent, and heels reaching down. And we're just going to pause and rest here in down dog for a moment. Getting steady and secure in our relationship with the Lord. I think one of the reasons that we can have some wavering doubt is that our relationship over time changes with the Lord. And as we mature and grow, we can question whether our original surrender was valid given all that we've learned in the meantime. But I remember something lovely that Nancy Lee DeMoss Swagglemuth said. She gave her life to the Lord when she was 4 years old. She said, "I gave all of who I knew I was to all of who I knew him to be." So it was a full surrender, but with a lot of gaps in her knowledge. And then as she grew and she began to learn more about the Lord, who she knew him to be expanded, who she knew herself to be expanded. You may have come to the Lord just to solve the problems in your life, and then maybe years later you'll say, well, that was selfish. I don't know that I was really signing up to join the kingdom then. But it's still valid. The Lord received you. All of who you were was given to all of who you knew him to be. We can get steady in that. And then lift the head off the block and bring the knees to the floor. You can set your block off to the side. I don't think we're going to be needing it again. And then root the hands and pick the hips back up for down dog, just as a transitional pose. We're going to come into pigeon. So we'll bring the right knee forward towards the right heel of the right hand, the heel of the right hand. flexing the foot and then sliding back with that left leg. You can bring the toes flat if you can keep all 5 of them down. Otherwise, you can tuck the toes, and then that can help the leg feel more secure. And then we're going to come onto the forearms so that our forearms are at a 45-degree angle from our upper arms. All right. And then try and square the pelvis first. Get super rooted. So we have this nice foundation. And then we're going to lift the left arm on an inhale and twist. And exhale, sweep it down and lift the right. I think one of the things that happens when we're doubting, flow onto the left side again, is that we kind of keep it buried. It's an uncomfortable feeling. So in this posture where our whole lower body is super grounded, we're free to explore this wavering motion without being too thrown off. So we can come to the Lord with our doubts, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, come back into down dog, lifting the sit bones high, lengthening the legs, up on the toes and bend the knees and bring the left knee towards the heel of the left hand. Flex that foot to protect the knee. Slide back with that right leg. Down onto the forearms, 45-degree angle. So I call this pose drowning pigeon. So we can be drowning in our doubts. And when that happens, we can bring those doubts to the Lord. You don't have to suffer in silence. We don't have to try and reassure ourselves and get ourselves in a good place necessarily. We can ask for His help. Say, Lord, I'm in doubt. Can you help me straighten this out? And plant the hands, tuck the toes, and step back to down dog. And take a minute to let the legs lengthen. Nice deep breaths. I really like to close my eyes in down dog. We're going to take a footprint forward, step it in a little bit. Bring the right hand to the outside of the left calf and twist, looking under the left arm. It is safe for us to investigate our doubts. And right hand down and grasp the right ankle with the left hand, looking under the arm. We can come to the Lord with our questions. We can do some real introspection and set things in order again. And left hand back. Step back to a normal length down dog. And then up on the toes, bend the knees. Step the left foot forward, drop down onto that back knee. Keep the right hand on the floor and reach up with the left hand. Just an easy twist here. And sweep it down, pop that back knee up, plant the heel, bring the left forearm onto the thigh and reach up and over for extended side ankle. This wavering in our yoga practice feels really good, doesn't it? You go all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and unearth any spaces that need some stretching out. And bring the hands back down, step back. I guess we transition through down dog. So we'll step back to down dog. Up on the toes, bend the knees, step the right foot forward, down on that back left knee. Keep the left hand down and reach up with the right arm. Sweep it down, pop up that back knee, root down through the back heel, forearm to front thigh, and reach overhead. Just exploring all those little places where there might be a a lurking doubt or worry, and bringing them before the Lord to get straightened out by Him. And release. Hands down to the floor, step back, down dog. Now I'm going to bring my left foot to the midline in between both feet, and then stretch back through the right leg so that it's more parallel to the floor. Then lift the foot up so it's parallel to the ceiling, and then raise up the knee without collapsing in the left shoulder. That's the tricky part. This is three-legged dog, and you can rotate the ankle, come up on the right fingertips and look under the arm. That feels good. And then extend back through that leg and bring it back down. And trade it out. So the right foot ends up on that midline line. Reach back with the left leg, foot's flexed, and then sole the foot up towards the ceiling, and then lift the knee, rotate the hip open without collapsing in the right shoulder. And if that's enough for you, just pause right there. Or if you have some margin, you can rotate the ankle, come up on the fingertips of the left hand and look under the arm. And back to down dog. Whew. And then knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, forehead to the floor, backs of the hands or stacked fist. We'll just pause here in wide knee child's pose. A little pause to turn inward. Lord, help me to be honest with myself. Help me to see where I may be suffering from some doubts. Doubts about who I am, doubts about you. And Lord, help me to trust you, and help me to bring my doubts to you, so that you can instruct me and teach me. You can love me back to steadiness. And rise up. We're going to come into Malasana, which is a squatting posture. So you can put the hands on the floor, tuck the toes, and lift the knees, and kind of wiggle waggle the feet till they're at a good angle for you. Bring the elbows to the insides of the knees and the palms together in a prayer position. Drop the tailbone down, crown of the head lifts. If you can't get your heels down to the floor, or if this is uncomfortable, you can grab that block and sit it under you and just be more sitting on the block. We're just going to pause here in Malasana. Malasana is a very grounding pose. So if our mind is all over the place and tossed by doubts, Malasana might be a good place for us to go to get grounded and rooted, a safe position to be in before we investigate those doubts. Pray about them with the Lord. So just another breath here, squeezing the knees into the elbows and pressing the elbows back out into the knees to get that firm sense of stability. And then I'm going to tuck my left shoulder down even more into that inner knee. Reach that left hand off, and then reach the right arm up. Little twist there. And then tucking the shoulder down into the right knee and reaching the left arm up. And treat size. Nice twist. Nice chance to explore all those little nooks and crannies of doubt and bring them before the Lord. for his and our investigation. And come up. I need to move to the top of my mat. We're going to do a few half sun salutes. So we'll inhale and circle the arms up. And exhale, bow. Flat. Straight legs if you can. A little bent in the knees if you're finding your hamstrings are still tight. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bow. And inhale, sweep it up. Reach up through the ring fingers and palms together at the heart. And one more time, inhale up. And exhale, bow. Just letting the crown of the head reach towards the floor. Inhale, come up halfway. And this time, bring the fingertips a little forward of the feet. And we're going to do a little standing split. So lift up the right leg. But see if you can keep the hips level with one another. We're just coming into a little standing split. And then right foot down. Bring the weight into the right foot and extend up through the left leg. So this isn't any amount sort of split. And down. And then inhale, sweep it up. And exhale, palms to the heart. So I'd like for us to practice some standing splits at the wall. And my mat is already in a pretty good position for that. You don't need to bring a mat to the wall. You just need to find a nice expanse to go to. I'm going to step a good distance away from the wall. I think I'm 2.5 feet away from the wall, and then I can use the wall to go a little more deeply into my splits. So we can just start in that half sun salutation. So inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, bow. And then bring the fingertips forward of the feet. We're just up on the fingertips. And then I'm bringing my weight into the left foot and lifting the right up the wall. And just pausing here. You might like to bring the left hand behind that left ankle and see if that helps you draw in a little more. See if you can bring the right hip down to be level with the left. And release that left ankle, bring the right foot down, and we'll change legs. Bring the left foot up the wall, right hand behind right ankle, and pause and breathe. Dropping that left hip any amount to even it out with the right hip. Big stretch here. And fingertips on the floor, foot back on the floor, deeply bow, and inhale, sweep it up. And palms together at the heart. All right, so we're going to put all that fanciness together into some sun salutations. S-O-N salutations. The sun who's received us and loves us, takes all of who we know we are to be all of his. So we'll inhale, sweep up, reach up, and exhale, bow, flat back. Inhale, come up on the fingertips, and exhale, reach the right foot back, drop down onto that back knee. Right hand stays down, and inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale, left hand to the floor, lift up that back knee, root down that back foot, and come into extended side angle. Sweep the hands down, step back for plank pose, and you can drop down to the knees and do knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. All the way down, flatten the feet, tuck the chin, come into cobra or up dog, lifting the knees. And then knees back down, tuck the toes, pull back into downward facing dog. Then bring that left foot to the midline, stretch back with the right, foot up, knee up, knee down, extend back, foot down, bring that right foot to the midline, extend back through the left leg, foot up, knee up, knee down, extend back. Whew. And up on the toes and bend the knees and step the right foot forward. Drop down onto that left knee, keeping the left hand where it is, and reach up with the right arm. Sweep that arm down, pop the back knee up, root the foot, forearm to the front thigh, and come into extended side angle. And sweep both hands down to the floor, step that back foot in, come halfway up. Bring the fingertips forward, bow and reach the right foot up for standing half splits. Return the right foot and lift up to the left. Left foot down and inhale, sweep up. And hands together at the heart. Lord, help us to come to steadiness, stillness, and a state that doesn't waver with you. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and we'll do that whole thing again. Exhale, bow. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, step back with the left foot this time, down onto the back knee. Left hand stays down and right arm reaches up. And exhale, right hand down, pop up the back knee, root the back foot, extended side angle. I was looking at the shadows of my frogs. Remember that a drishti can help you, and the wrong drishti can hinder you. Oh my goodness, in a class of wavering doubts, where are we gonna fix our eyes? And hands down, step back to plank. And exhale all the way to the floor, flatten the feet, curl up into cobra or up dog, drop the knees, tuck the toes, and come into downward facing dog. Left foot to midline, extend back with the right leg, foot up, knee up, knee down, foot back, all the way to the floor. Right foot to midline, reach back with the left leg, foot up, knee up, and extend back and down. Then up on the toes, bend the knees, step the left foot forward, back knee down, right hand stays on the floor, and reach up with the left. And left hand to the floor, pop the back knee up, root the back foot, find a good place to fix your gaze as you reach into extended side angle. We have our focal point, we waver less, and sweep the hands down to the floor, step that back foot in, come up halfway. Exhale, bow. Fingertips a little forward, lifting up through the right leg, dropping the right hip a little bit to be even, and down. Lifting up through the left leg, keeping that left hip down to be even with the right. Replant the foot and inhale, come up. And exhale, whew, palms to the heart. Now we can just come straight down into Malasana. So feet are angled out, elbows into the knees, knees into the elbows. Maybe grabbing your block and sitting on it. Just pause and rest. That was sort of a vigorous, very wavering set of sun salutes. So come back to stillness and rootedness. We are His. We are secure in that. And then, boop, sit down, roll back, and we'll come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet to touch. The hands can be on the belly if that feels good, or sometimes it feels nice to interlace the fingers behind the head so the elbows can be wide. We're going to do this as a restorative, so closing the eyes and resting. We'll read through our quote again and see if there's any little part that the Holy Spirit highlights for you as something to pay attention to. I love those Holy Spirit highlighters. So see what you hear. You feel springing up in your soul the longing to be conformed to the image of your Lord. In order for this, you know there must be an entire surrender of yourself to Him, that He may work in you all the good pleasure of His will. And you have tried over and over to do it, but hitherto without any apparent success. It is at this point that I desire to help you. What you must do now is to come once more to Him in a surrender of your whole self to His will, as complete as you know how to make it. You must ask Him to reveal to you by His Spirit any hidden rebellion. And if He reveals nothing, then you must believe that there is nothing, and that the surrender is complete. This must then be considered a settled matter. You have abandoned yourself to the Lord, and from henceforth you do not in any sense belong to yourself. You must never even so much as listen to a suggestion to the contrary. If the temptation comes to wonder whether you really have completely surrendered yourself, meet it with an assertion that you have. Do not even argue the matter. Repel any such idea instantly and with decision. You meant it then, you mean it now, you have really done it. Your emotions may clamor against the surrender, but your will must hold firm. It is your purpose God looks at, not your feelings about that purpose. And your purpose or will is therefore the only thing you need to attend to. The surrender then having been made, never to be questioned or recalled, the next point is to believe that God takes that which you have surrendered, and to reckon that it is His. Not that it will be at some future time, but is now, and that He has begun to work in you to will and to do of His good pleasure. And here you must rest. There is nothing more for you to do. For you are the Lord's now, absolutely and entirely in His hands. And He has undertaken the whole care and management and forming of you, and will, according to His word. Do you then now at this moment surrender yourself wholly to Him? You answer yes. Then, my dear friend, begin at once to reckon that you are His, that He has taken you, and that He is working in you to will and to do of His good pleasure, and keep on reckoning this. You will find it a great help to put your reckoning into words and to say over and over to yourself and to your God, Lord, I am thine. I do yield myself up to Thee entirely, and I believe that Thou dost take me.
I leave myself with thee. Work in me all the good pleasure of thy will, and I will only lie still in thy hands and trust thee. Make this a daily, definite act of your will, and many times a day recur to it, as being your continual attitude before him. You can open the eyes, bring the hands under the outer thighs and lift up. Draw the knees in towards the chest so that the feet are a little closer together than the knees are. Then bring the arms in between the knees, grasp the outer edges of the feet, and then bring the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling so you're in happy baby. And then we're going to start to rock, just the way a baby would. And as you rock, you may feel like it's nice to extend and reach the leg out. We've explored all our doubtings and waverings with the Lord. Found where we were wondering about ourselves and our commitment. We're wondering whether He'd received us. Now we can be happy and relaxed, knowing that things are settled between us. I'm a little close to the wall, it's a little bonky. And bring the feet to the floor, arms out shoulder height. And I'm gonna press into the feet, lift the hips and swing them a couple of inches off to the left and come down on the right hip. Draw in the knees and let them fall to the right. And the gaze is over the left arm. But you can kick that top foot up to the hand and grasp the big toe if you like, pulling that outer hip down. A nice twist. And center the head, release the foot, lift the top knee, then the bottom. Straighten out the pelvis, press in the feet to lift the hips up, swing them a couple of inches off to the left and come down. Draw in the knees, let them fall to the left, gaze over to the right. And if you like, you can kick that top leg up to the hand, grasp the toe, pull the hip down and away. Come into a nice twist. Get very settled here at the end of our yoga class. Center the head, release the foot, lift the top knee, then the bottom. We'll prepare for Shavasana. Just make music. So you can try stretching out long, feet as wide as the mat. Maybe shrug the shoulders under a little bit so the shoulder blades are flat on the floor. Arms out 45 degrees from the body, fingertips naturally curl, chin drops towards the chest so the forehead is a little higher than the chin and eyes closed. See if that's sustainable in your low back. If it's not, bring the soles of the feet to the edges of the mat and let the knees fall in. That should be a relief to your back. We'll rest here in Shavasana. We'll do this to this song with our meditation.
There I know you'd find
deep in the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Begin to rock the head from side to side, making small movements. Inhale the arms up overhead till the thumbs touch on the floor behind you. Stretch the legs out long, pointing the toes, coming into a long stretch. You can hook the thumbs and reach the right fingertips and right toes away from each other, squinching in the left side body. Then reach the left fingertips and left toes away from each other, squinching in the right side body. Do a few more of these fishy wiggles. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest, roll towards your right side, resting on that bottom arm as a pillow in the fetal position. Use the hands to press into the floor and come up into a comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Inhale the arms up overhead, palms come together at the heart. Jesus, thank you for the privilege of saying, Lord, I am thine. Thank you that you receive us when we yield ourselves up to thee. Thank you that you take care of us and that we can leave our concerns with you. Lord, work in us all your good pleasure, and we will stay in your hands and trust thee. In your precious name, amen.